Hey, it's your girl LaIndia, and I'm here once again with an exclusive interview with Tammy and Alonso. You're gonna like this a whole lot. Miss Tammy and Alonso, tell me a little bit about where flamenco dance comes from.
Flamenco comes from the south of Spain, from Andalusia. It is not known really where it comes from. I mean, that's where it comes from, but as far as where it originates from, it's a mixture of a lot of cultures, which I think is what makes it so interesting and attractive and powerful to people, so passionate. It's a mixture really of the gypsy culture, but the gypsies came from so many different places. There were the people that came the southern route through the Middle East, and then the gypsies that came the northern route again from India. The gypsies originally come from India. So you bring all these different cultures from the northern part in Europe, and then through the southern part through the Middle East and Africa, that eventually resided in Andalusia and became the Andalus gypsy culture from which emanates flamenco.
How long each of you been dancing, and did you study other styles along the way?
Well, I grew up in a fine art school since fourth grade. Since fourth grade, I was pretty much following the studies they offer contemporary and ballet, classical ballet. And then I did that for about 6 years, and then I joined different groups around the city just to kind of, keep getting better at it. So I would say I've been dancing since I'm 8. And then I got involved with Tammy's group when I was about 19 years old. So now I'm 33. So it's been a long journey, and I still think I have the student mentality. I want to keep learning more and more.
Well, for me, it was when I went to study abroad when I was in college. It was my first year in college, and I was 16, and I went to Spain. And one of the evenings when we were studying at the Universidad de Sevilla, we went to Triana, and we saw a flamenco show. And I had never even heard of flamenco or had any idea of what that was, but I had always felt kind of growing up, I was always involved in the performing arts, but never really found my niche, And when I saw that performance, I just was overwhelmed, absolutely overwhelmed, and felt like I was home and that I had found what I wanted to do for the rest of my life, which was not what I expected to find. Yeah, that's one of the beautiful things about flamenco is it's such a journey. It's a journey of a lifetime. So it just makes it kind of different than everything else because there's not a cap on when you have to stop. As a classical ballet dancer, there's an age, and you're done. Most performing arts, actually, a lot of performing arts.
So true.
There's an age, and it's just the aesthetic. It's not going to work, especially in dance. It's not going to work anymore. And flamenco is not like that. So it's exciting at any age. I mean, we have students that start in their 50s and 60s and have always wanted to do this. And it's so neat to see their journey. We all start in a different place, certainly. And, some people start with a 10-year-old body and are strong and able to work it. Some people are starting with a body that's already lived an entire lifetime, but with a mind that has all this richness to bring to it, which is what's so special about the art because there's so much emotion in it.
So well put, Tammy. I love it.
I'm glad.
I love it.
You know what I'm talking about.
I do.
Yeah, it's just, yeah.
How did the Flamenco del Sol start?
Okay. Well, let's see. I started the Flamenco del Sol company. I think it was 80. No, it wasn't 80. It was 94. It was 94. It was when I moved to Bolivia. That was my goal, was to open a dance academy, and there was in the heart in Santa Cruz, which is like the heart of Bolivia and the heart of South America, and let's just see what happens here. And that's when I started Flamenco del Sol, and the Sol comes from the first dance group that I was with when I was first learning. One of the girls, we used to give each other flamenco names because obviously Tammy Weber is not going to fly on the stage. Ole Tammy, ole, no. So we give each other flamenco names because most of the girls were gringas. And she gave me the name Morita because I had danced this solo called El Morito, which is the Moorish man. So Morita is a Moorish girl. And she's Morita del Sol, because you have blonde hair, because I had very blonde hair at the time. Morita del Sol. And yeah, qué lindo, no?
That's right.
Yeah, and I still see her from time to time, and it's so cute. And I remember her name too. She had a very specific hand, Pilar de Triana. And if she watches this, then you'll know. But yeah, so it was in that enthusiasm of that lifestyle. And so that's where that name came from. That became my stage name later when I was taking myself real seriously. But that's where the Flamenco del Sol name comes from. And it kind of works then when we moved to Florida. It totally works because people think it's because we're in Florida.
Yes.
No, it's not. It came from my friend that just named me that one day.
Tell us about your school and how many students do you have?
Okay, well, you know, it's interesting. The school is very small, and I'd like to say that we're exclusive, but in a really good way, as opposed to a negative exclusivity. We had a very large dance academy in Bolivia. I mean, we had up to 100 people at any given time, ages 4 to 70, you know. And when we came here to perform. And we spent a lot of years only performing in 7 nights a week, you know, sometimes in 2, 3, 4 different venues, just crazy performance schedule. And I kind of just, some students would find me through the performances and want to take private lessons. And so it kind of evolved that way. Yeah, and so through the years it became, we have a total of probably 15 people that are regulars at any given time. And when I say regulars, they usually come 3 times a week, very dedicated, very much into the flamenco mindset. And, you know, it takes a lot for them to do this because we don't advertise our academy. We don't do regular academy type things, although we do recitals, big recitals every 2 years. We have one coming up in October this year at the Wayne Dench Performing Arts Center. I'll give myself a little plug there. Yes. And it's all for charity. And, you know, we could talk about that later if you wanted. But yeah, so we have 15 that come regularly. We have an advanced beginners group, an intermediate, and an advanced group. And it's rare for us to open a new section. We just have to kind of, the right people have to come at the same time and kind of converge. And then, yeah, it works that way. There's this interesting synchronicity when we get people that really have a heart for it. There might be 2 or 3 others too, and then they just become this thing. So that's how we work. We teach out of our home, and yeah, it's a family. It's a large extended family for us. Nice group.